Content. Hey, everybody. Thanks for getting here. Welcome back to the Ammo Box. Michael Henry here, your favorite Clueless Know-It-All. Bringing week 3 or round 3 of our content creation challenge to you. We've actually had some pretty good responses. Not a whole lot of links left in comments, but hey, that's fine. What we're doing here in the beginning phases, at the very least, is just trying to get a little outreach, just trying to be in front of people's faces and make contact and make networks happen and do all that kind of stuff. So again, this is not for me. This is for you guys. I want you guys to have a source, a well from that you can kind of pull buckets of water from when you need it, just to get some generic content. And there's nothing wrong with generic content. Believe me, it is how the big boys do what they do. It's how they get the notoriety and they get the growth that they get. Not everything has to be the most heartfelt content stuff. It just has to be content. It just has to be out there. Of course, the better it is, the more informative it is, the more helpful it is to people, the faster it's going to take off. But even still, just to keep the algorithm looking your way, you got to be consistent about it, and that's what I'm doing this for. I want you guys to use these posts and use these opportunities and take advantage of it, and make the algorithm work for you. So, without further ado, week 3's question is, drum roll please. Sorry, I'm going to make you wait through this whole stupid spiel I'm doing. What obstacles do you face? You know, as a professional musician, as somebody who's out there trying to make it happen, as it were, what are the biggest challenges that you face? The biggest obstacles that you tend to butt up against when the things don't work out exactly the way they should? Because I know it happens to all of us. Again, being a full-time dad and a full-time employee somewhere else and all the other stuff, mine is time. I don't have a whole lot of time. I try to make time when I have it, but it's a huge one for me. But honestly, the biggest one beyond that, and I think this will probably be pretty consistent across the board, is just being able to break into a scene. There's a lot of gatekeepers everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, trying to get into a new club, trying to get onto a radio station, trying to get into a rotation on a playlist or curated playlist or whatever. There's always gatekeepers, and it's difficult to motivate yourself to try and get past. Now I haven't done a whole lot of it because I've always had a manager, which is a huge help. And I know a lot of people, that manager, I can do it myself. Yeah, you can, but not everybody has that kind of time. And those of you who are kind of like me, who are, like I said, grinding it out every day, going to work, raising your kids, being part of a family, having a manager, having access to someone who can at least act like a manager for you every once in a while, it's worth its weight in gold, because it's one less thing that you have to take an inordinate amount of time out of your day to do. So I always recommend, if you don't, and again, even if it's not like an official manager, surround yourself with people who can help, who can do the things that you don't necessarily, I don't want to say don't have time to do, but the things that are easier for someone who has more time to execute. Utilize those resources. We as musicians, we as people who are fellow creatives who are sharing this content and trying to make a way in this industry, we should be the ones who are the most supportive of one another. So by all means, ask your musician friends. That's why we're in these groups, right? That's what these groups are for. It's networking, so we can connect, so we can make those connections that help us move to the next step, and that'll allow us to help others to move to that next step. So that for me has been a huge eye opener for me, as far as the new revolution that is the music industry, because we've all seen it. We've all seen the music industry change drastically from, say, like 1997 till, I don't know, like now. It's a huge difference, and being that distribution is essentially free. You know what I mean? Even if you're paying for if you're paying for a company to handle your distribution rights, it's minimal. It's a couple $100 a year, and that's next to nothing when it comes to the actual cost of putting together the equipment and the time it takes to reach out to these people, and paying for the recording sessions, and paying for the studio musicians if you have to use them. It's a whole lot of stuff. And out of all that, a website costs you $100 a year for domain name and hosting fees. Maybe a couple hundred years, maybe a couple $100 a year to like a distro kid to handle getting you distributed to all these different platforms. And it's next to nothing, and it's the easiest thing that you can do, other than just sitting down and making content that'll help your career. And I encourage y'all to 100% take advantage of it. If you haven't gotten into any distribution stuff yet, and you have love original music, I encourage you to get into it now. You want to protect those intellectual property rights. I'm sure some of you have probably seen that Who's That page. They're doing like weekly tips on being an independent musician. Last week I think was distribution. Distribution's free, guys. YouTube, post a video on YouTube is free. Post a video on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, it's free. You don't have to pay for that. Other than the internet bill to connect, right? Or the phone bill to connect to the internet, you don't have to pay for that stuff. It's free. Take advantage of it. If you know anything about Gary Vaynerchuk and the V's friends, or Gary V, or on all that whole milieu, this is the guy that's been doing ad campaigns and marketing campaigns for the biggest companies on the planet. He's a super genius when it comes to this stuff. He will tell you from the get-go, from the very first thing that you read about what it takes to be what it is you want in life, distribution is free, and that is the beautiful thing about the modern market. So by all means, please take advantage of these posts. Make you a video, post it on YouTube, share the links here in the comments, share the videos on all your social media platforms, especially in these groups and these comments, so that we can help you get a little notoriety when the time comes. I don't know how it's going to happen, where it'll happen, when it'll happen, but at some point it'll happen, and I am so looking forward to going through all these posts that'll be here over the course of a year, over every week, and however many posts it grows to. I can't wait to look back and be like, hey, I saw that dude post this thing here, as maybe a little inspiration for myself. Hey, beginnings come humbly. You know what I mean? Posting in a comment from some random dude running a content creation challenge that you don't win anything to get. But again, this is for you guys. Please take advantage of it. Please take advantage of it. I know it helps. I've seen my numbers going up. I've seen my social media numbers going up. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for a little while, and I've run a couple of different pages in the past, my own and others, and I've seen these numbers move, and I know how to make these numbers move in my favor. And I'm telling you, this is what it is. This is what it is. Just content creation and posting it, and making sure that the algorithm is consistently able to see that you're out there doing stuff. So best way to support what we're doing here, guys, if you like what we're doing, the best way to do it is to go to our Redbubble stores. We have 2 Redbubble stores, one for Who's That app fundraiser and one for Michael Henry Music. We've actually introduced and released some brand new designs. The logo for Michael Henry Music has been updated. I know a lot of y'all have been around for a long time with that horse's head I had for a long time. We've actually updated some of that stuff, simplified it, but made it a little bit more unique. So, but go take a look, go get you a hat, go get you a koozie or something. It's the best way to make sure that we can continue to bring the stuff to you that we're bringing to you. So, as always, guys, be helpful, be a leader, learn the smart stuff, and if you can be here,